Well, utterly impossible for an Orthodox Christian to ask a question like that. Of course, when they receive Holy Communion together would be the best answer. We don't have magic words that suddenly make something happen. The marriage, the crowning of a marriage, we don't marry people, we crown a marriage that exists in their hearts. The marriage, crowning of a marriage service is revelation and prophecy about what the whole thing means. So if you're going to say at what point do the two become one, of course it's when they took that decision in their heart to do it, isn't it? But when they receive Holy Communion together would be the only thing you could define in any way. But in the West, every detail of every holy mystery was supposed to be defined in some kind of scholastic clarity, which indeed robbed it of its mystery, which then robbed it of its meaning. And that's when, in England, when they were talking about papal mummery, they knew what they were talking about because they had reduced all these things down to magic rituals and magic formulas. Magic, pure and simple. You say the magic word, something magic happens. That's not what grace is about. It's not what the Holy Spirit is about. And that's one of the great problems with the sacramentalism, the seven sacrament idea. So anyway, I think we're going to have to sew up here a little bit, and I hope we've shined a little light into the, or shone a little light into the this discourse, and to see that these discussions are possible, and they're helpful and useful, and they need to be increased and worked out, because in my view anyway, that among many of the Anglicans, and at least most Orthodox, there is the possibility of this, first of all, very friendly relationship, very warm relationship, and of healing some of the theological differences to the degree that everyone is willing to go back to the Holy Fathers. Now, there are Orthodox people who don't go back to the Holy Fathers either anymore, so we both have to go back to the Holy Fathers of the first few centuries and work these things out on that basis. Forget about conservative, liberal, independent, anything else. You can't be conservative and be Orthodox, you can't be liberal and be Orthodox, you can only be Orthodox and be Orthodox. And your problem is that so many times our political orientation, which is sometimes something of a birth defect. People are born with certain political orientations. A lot of it depends on the size of the location of the amygdala region of the brain. The bigger the amygdala, the greater the fear, the more conservative you are. I mean, that's a scientific reality. But to not superimpose our worldly religious vision on the faith that Christ gave us, but to look to the gospel itself, and not to any kind of political orientation, but to the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that ultimately, how we understand the gospel, how we use the gospel, can be the only possible basis for any kind of unity at all. That's my view.
Wonderful way to conclude. The way forward for Orthodox Anglicans.